North Korea is one of the most isolated and ruthlessly ruled countries on the planet. Get ready to dive into the weird and wonderful world of North Korea with us. It's a place that's often in the headlines for all the wrong reasons. But today, we're going to uncover 10 seriously strange facts that you probably didn't know about this mysterious nation. 1. The people of North Korea do not call themselves North Koreans. The region, which now consists of both North and South Korea, has been one single unified country for lengthy periods of history. This unification has been split ever since the two sides of the country separated after World War II. As far as North Korea is concerned, there is no split. Technically, they are the Democratic People's Republic of Korea, and although they may only control the north of the Korean peninsula, they are all Korean. According to them, the people in the south are also citizens of the DPRK and thus also Koreans, but in this case, these Koreans are being oppressed by an illegitimate government. 2. The same family has ruled North Korea since it was founded. The first leader of the Democratic People's Republic of Korea was Kim Il-sung, who rose to power through his actions as a revolutionary guerrilla fighter in World War II. He spent a significant amount of time in communist China and the USSR, which resulted in him being placed in control of Soviet-controlled North Korea. When the DPRK formed, Kim Il-sung was at the helm. He reigned from 1948 until he died in 1994, during which time he earned the title Great Leader. Kim Jong-il succeeded his father in a highly unorthodox move for a communist state. Kim Jong-il was said to have been an incredibly temperamental ruler with an overinflated sense of self-importance, which often undermined his ability to rule. Despite this, he earned the title Dear Leader and reigned until he died in 2011. Kim Jong-un was then appointed as the next leader of the country. Since taking on the role of the supreme leader in 2011, Kim Jong-un has ruled the country with an iron fist, much like his forefathers. 3. Pyongyang Stadium is the largest in the world. Despite being constructed all the way back in 1989, North Korea's Mayday Stadium has the largest seating capacity in the world, with a mind-blowing 150,000 seats. The stadium sees the most use during the country's famous annual mass games, an event focused primarily around tightly choreographed dances and impressive gymnastics displays. 4. North Korea isn't a communist country. A common misconception regarding North Korea is that it's still a communist country. While Kim Il-sung believed in socialism and communism, the country he established rapidly became less and less communist as the years went by. Many classic communist practices were thrown out the window and replaced, as is seen with the country's new ruling dynasty. The DPRK replaced their communistic principles with Juche, a uniquely North Korean political ideology thought up by Kim Il-sung, which focuses primarily on self-reliance. All mention of communism was slowly removed from official state writing, with the word being struck out of the constitution completely by 2009. 5. North Korea has its own calendar. The majority of the world uses the Gregorian calendar, a calendar that connects the years to the birth of Jesus Christ. North Korea actually has a similar system, but instead, it is based upon the birth of the great leader, Kim Il-sung. The first year in the Democratic People's Republic of Korea calendar, or Juche calendar, began in 1912, despite the calendar only being put in place in 1997. 6. Only one art studio in North Korea is allowed to produce artwork of the country's leaders. Located in the country's capital of Pyongyang, the Mansudi Art Studio is actually one of the largest art studios in the world. The studio sits on a vast plot of land measuring over 1,291,669 square feet. It strictly employs only the best artists the state can find, all of which come from the best art academies. Some of the nation's greatest monuments were designed and constructed in this monolithic art studio. 7. North Koreans don't have access to the internet, except for 1,000 or 2,000 chosen elites, that is. The rest of the country is completely blocked off from the internet. If you happen to live in Pyongyang or one of North Korea's other major cities and either work or study in an advanced field, then you may be allowed to access the country's own intranet, Kwangmyong. This network runs within the country and allows extremely limited access to a number of heavily censored state-approved websites and a simple email client. The only people other than the elite who are allowed to access the real internet are people who work in the government's propaganda or hacking units. Such positions tend to be highly prestigious, with exorbitant salaries and privileges, to prevent these people from fleeing the country once they get an idea of how much greener the grass is on the other side. 8. North Korea claims a 100% literacy rate. Education seems to be highly valued in North Korea, with the state providing free kindergarten, primary school, secondary school, and even university education to all citizens. While it is expected that the educational system in North Korea may be severely lacking in some areas, especially regarding international relations, for example, some areas such as literacy rates do seem to be greatly successful. 9. North Korea actually has its own space program. The North Korea space program gained international attention when its first satellite, Kwangmyongsong-1, was allegedly launched on August 31, 1998. North Korea's government claimed that the launch was successful, but no objects were ever tracked in orbit from the launch. Outside North Korea, the launch is considered to have been a failure. There have been 4 launches since, with the latest taking place in 2016. The 2 satellites which actually reached orbit both failed to function. According to North Korea, all launches have, of course, been great successes. 10. North and South Korea have been at war since 1950. After the occupation of Korea by Japan with the conclusion of World War II, both Soviet Russia and the US had plans for the country's future. This resulted in US-led forces occupying the south of the country, while Soviet-led forces occupied the north. This led to a pro-Western government forming in the south under US control and a Soviet-backed communist government forming in the north. While both sides aimed to unify Korea, they had very different ideas for what the newly unified Korea should look like. Any attempts to find common ground failed time and time again. Tensions rose between the two sides, which eventually led to war breaking out in 1950. While the war ended up in a stalemate in 1953, there was no official peace treaty signed between the two parties, and thus the war never actually ended. A bonus fun fact: North Koreans love Hollywood movies. North Korean black markets are full of Hollywood movies that everyone loves. They just don't realize where these movies were shot. Plus, the risk of watching Hollywood movies is much lower than South Korean dramas. Because in K-dramas, they speak Korean that makes North Korean people questioning why they don't have such amenities like the people on TV. The former leader of North Korea, Kim Jong-il, had an obsession with Hollywood movies. Since he was a young man, apparently he had an impressive collection of Hollywood movies, and which he kept in an air-conditioned vault. According to a recent report by the Washington-based research group Intermedia, media devices such as televisions and DVD players have reached near ubiquity in North Korea, with access and ownership a common phenomenon across nearly all demographic, socio-economic, and political class divides. In Intermedia's survey of a group of 350 North Korean defectors, refugees, and travelers, 92% said they watched foreign content on a DVD player. North Korea may have once been a highly secretive country, but this is slowly starting to change. More and more Westerners are being allowed to visit and report home about the sights and wonders they experience there. While every tourist is only shown a well-curated version of the country, it still gives a large degree of insight into the inner workings of North Korea. Just remember, just because you hear something about the country doesn't mean it's true. Well, there you have it, folks. North Korea, the land of surprises, never ceases to amaze. Who would have thought that a place so secretive could be so, well, strange in such unique ways? If you've had as much fun as we have on this wild journey, don't forget to show your love. Hit that like button, share this video with your fellow adventurers, and if you haven't already, smash that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. We want you right here with us on the next intriguing adventure. And hey, if you know any bizarre facts about North Korea that we missed, drop them in the comments below. We'd love to hear from you and keep the conversation going. Thanks for joining us today. And remember, the world is full of mysteries waiting to be explored.